What is going on, y'all? I got a rain energy drink, so we're gonna just give it a little review. Hopefully it doesn't go everywhere. And of course my camera's falling. Great. I don't know why it's doing this a lot more recently. Alright, you guys should stay rather still. Hopefully you don't fall. But today, oh, there we go. A little sippy sip. And my liquid laxatives, because y'all know if you drink Reigns, they definitely give you the poops. But in terms of the lift today, we have back and biceps. And mainly what's going to be going on today in this early AM workout is we're just going to be doing rowing, hold down, pull overs, all the good and goods, right? And there's one essential thing before every workout that you need. One, you need a pre-workout drink, energy drink, right? Or some sort of, energy booster, right? And that could be through various things, right? Caffeine, carb intake, all kinds of things, right? And, when we're talking about caffeine, there's a lot of people. I don't know a whole lot of people, but I know a few people, and that coincides with a lot of people in the world who are weird in caffeine intake. They're like, oh, I want to stay all natural. Buddy, you drinking caffeine is not hurting you at all, right? Now, this is a 300 milligram caffeine. This is definitely on the higher end. If you drink a 300 every day, that might lead to some issues, right? But drink 100 to 200 a day, and that's not going to cause any issues at all, right? But say, you have your caffeine, right? But you have no carb intake. That's also going to dictate how your workout goes energy-wise. Now, you can definitely get through a workout with no carbs, but it's not going to be as good of one without or with carbs, right? The more carbs you have, not always the better, right? But if you get to the 80, 100 carb range before your workout, that's pretty good, right? I'm usually about to 65 to 100 grams of carbs before my workout, and that all needs to be fast digesting carbs, meaning like rice, juice of some sort like Gatorade or Powerade or Body Armor, whatever you take, those type of carbs, right? You can do all your research on, you could just look up fast carbs versus slow carbs, and you could just pull it up and there'll be something on, I bet, Safari and images, and you'll find like a whole graph of all those, right? But you just need to be able to know how to really just, know how to really time your carbs too, right? Because if you time them where, like, let's say this, you ate 70 grams of fast digesting carbs 2 hours ago, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go work out. Those fast digesting carbs have already been digested and they've already done their work, but you're probably honestly going to be tired because you've still been laying down, right? So let's say 2 hours ago you ate those. Eat another 30 to 60 grams of fast digesting carbs with a little bit of protein, and then do your workout, right? Like 30 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein. So that could be a quick, I can't think of an example right now, but that, right? Because if you go to work out, right, without any carbs in your system, you're going to be depleted. You're going to be feeling flat. You're barely going to get a pump. I know there's people, and Will Tennyson's done a study and research YouTube video about fasted, and he said he got a great pump and a great and he had way better energy through the workout and stuff when he was fasted. So I've never been fasted before, other than when I go to bed and then when I wake up, that kind of thing, breakfast, right? I'm breaking the fast. But I've never been in a fast period where he was, where it was like a week-long fast, I think it was. And I know the fasting has its own realm of benefits and, whatnot. But when we're just talking about, normal bodybuilding, right? Just gaining muscle, gaining strength, not, you're obviously doing it for health, but reasonably, if you're in the gym because of bodybuilding, you're probably doing it just to look great. You're not probably going in there thinking you're getting your cardiovascular system better. You're not doing it for any of that reason. You're doing it because you want to look like a sick cunt, right? If we're just being honest, But, I'm not saying don't ever fast in your life if you want to be a bodybuilder. Honestly, if you want to be a bodybuilder but you're really overweight, doing a 3-day fast, couple-day fast might actually be the best thing for you. It might really suck because when you're overweight, you have these, hunger receptors. You're more likely to get hungry, but you're going to be burning a whole lot more fat first than the guy who is fasting. That maybe, he's not like, crazy body fat percentages, but he may be like 13%, 14%. He'll get down to 9%, 10% in a week-long span, and then his muscle will start getting eaten. And then that's when he's like, okay, let me just start eating because my body's literally eating muscle. Compared to the guy who's 25%, 20% body fat, does it for a week, 2 weeks, and he's back and he's down to like 15%, right? So, what I've been doing a lot in the mornings, I ate a banana before I did it today, but I've been doing 15 to 20 minutes of fasted cardio before my workouts, right? What I would do is I just wake up in the morning, and then what I usually do now is I wake up out of bed and I shake my body. I do like these little kind of just toe jumps where you're not landing on anything else but your toes, and you're jumping back up and flailing my body up and down and letting it shake. For one, it gets your body all warmed up. You're waking up also. So you're just having all these great benefits, and you're letting your body be more loose. Now, after that, then we usually just head straight to cardio. But today, I had to let my dog out. She had to go pee. And so I just said, okay, let me just eat my banana, drink some electrolytes real quick, and then I got to it. And then guess what? Cardio's done. And now I just have to lift the rest of the day, right? That's it. Not live for the rest of the day. Actually, technically, I do because of, I work at UPS and stuff. But that's besides the point. But overall, I'm going to leave it there for you guys, and I will see you guys in the gym. All right, so first movement we have today is going to be a chest-supported row for the upper back mainly, and a little bit of the mid-back. And as you've seen in the beginning, we like to retract our shoulder blades first whenever doing this movement to get set up properly. But we're going to be training heavy and hard. At the back, we're going to be squeezing for about a couple seconds and then going really slow on the way back. And after you can't really do those normal movements, turning into Kelso shrugs. And the next set, we're going to go a little lighter and just get a little bit more squeeze and a little farther back. Next, we're going to work on those upper traps, so we're going to get those mountains, if you know what I mean, but we're going to be doing one set till failure, really making sure you get light enough dumbbells, but heavy dumbbells, but light enough to be able to make sure you are not having the dumbbell by your sides and out, because that's why you get a better stretch on the way down, and you get a good squeeze on the top. And when you're doing these, don't roll your shoulders at all, just go straight up and straight back down. And now we're going to be focusing on the lats, really make sure we're training heavy and hard, and we're going to just be training one set. Make sure you're driving your elbows down to your hips whenever you're doing this movement, making sure your arms are, pretty decently in, not flared out too much to get really more of a lat squeeze. But once again, train heavy and hard and control it the whole time all the way through. Now we're going to be going on to the arms, and we're going to be focusing on mainly a brachialis forearm workout, but it also hits the biceps as well since it's a curl movement. But it's going to be hitting that top part of your forearm. Really make sure you're squeezing at the top, training heavy and hard, and we're just going to be training one set all out till failure on this. Alright, now we're going to be focusing on just a bicep movement overall. You'll still be hitting a little brachialis, so a little bit of forearm, because we're going to be rotating. But make sure you're going to failure, and we're going to be turning these to hammer curls when they get very hard. And then we're going to be rotating at the top, as you'll see here in a second. And then you're just going to bang out hammer curls at the very end. But, once again, train hard, train heavy, go wild. And we're going to be training 2 sets, by the way. Sorry about that. And now we're going to be doing one more set of biceps, and then we're going to be done with the day. We're going to just be doing preacher curls and really squeeze at the top, getting a slow contraction at the bottom too for a deep stretch, and train heavy and hard. And then at the end, we're going to just be doing a little kind of rest pause and then go to reps. So which that means you're going to stop fully, and then you're going to just hang out for a second, probably like 5 seconds, and then you're going to bang out a couple more reps. And one set all out till failure. Howdy, y'all. What's going on, man? So, we are done with the workout. And, I gotta say, that was a really good workout, right? Some neck issues, but that's just because my lack of stretching in my neck. I stretch everything else, but I kind of lack stretching in my neck, because that's like the last thing I think about, and it doesn't hurt whenever I'm doing anything else, except right after the gym and stuff. Or sometimes just the middle of the day. It hurts like right around here, but you guys aren't to hear about all my problems. But workout today, like I said, was really good. Overall strength was there. My muscle connection was there. Yeah, just overall a pretty good workout, man. So I can't really complain about nothing. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about the pre-workout stuff, that's exactly why. I mean, the last few workouts haven't been as good because my own, I guess you could say, I don't even know what you want to call it, but my own kind of, I'm trying to think of the words to kind of like describe why my workouts haven't been as good. Just, I haven't had as much energy, and my strength hasn't been there as much, only because my own decisions, right? I just chose not to, really care about my intro workout or, my pre-workout meals much, because, I've been playing video games more and stuff, and what happens is I'll play my games, right? I'll eat my pre-workout meal, play the game for like 45 minutes, and then have a 15-minute drive. And then it's like, okay, an hour's already passed, and, you know, that pre-workout meal isn't, you know, necessarily working as well for me as if it was 45 minutes or 30 minutes. So, you know, my own fault. But that goes to show, when you actually time your carbs right, when you actually time your meals right, you're good, bro. And that's really the only meal that you really need to time is your pre-workout meal, right? Every other meal, you should have a time where you eat around every meal. But, you know, scheduling, you know, you have things that get in your day, your way, and then you have to, like, you know, do other things. But your pre-workout meal should always be 30 to 45 minutes before you work out. Plain and simple. 30 to 45 minutes after you're done eating it. So, that's all I got to say for eating. But, you know, and then everything else, just be smart about, man. Don't overdo sugars. Don't underdo sugars. Don't overdo fats. Don't underdo fats. Don't underdo protein. And don't underdo carbs, right? You could definitely overdo carbs, but it's a lot harder to do that. I mean, it's not harder to do, like, carbs and fats. But I will say, you need far less fats than you need carbs, right? It's not easy getting 600 carbs a day. It's hard getting 200 grams of fat, though. You know what I'm saying? So, it really depends on what you eat, right? You can do, like, let's just say Jack's Pizza, because I had one of those yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. I had Jack's Pizza because I was watching the newest Invincible episode, Peak. Now I have to wait a year, unfortunately. But besides that, me and my girl, she wanted a cheese pizza, and I was like, okay, I'll just put pepperonis on the other side. So I had half of a Jack's Pizza. It was 32 grams of protein, or 30 grams of protein, and 28 grams of fat. Right there, 28 grams of fat. I try to strive for like 40 to like 75 max. So that's already a third of the max fats I need. So I think it's pretty easy to get fats. I retract my statement on 200 grams of fats is hard to get. It's not easy to get by no means, right? If you stick to a proper diet, you know, like, you don't need to do just chicken or rice, protein shakes, and some beef and stuff. You can add pizza if you want, or pasta, or sushi, or whatever you may want, right? But know how much you're taking in, right? Calories in, calories out. Grams in, grams out. That's what I'll say. Because if you're constantly, you know, just trying to get in the perfect macros, that's going to be a little tiring after a while, right? And a little exhausting, and you're going to get, like, you know, depleted, and you're going to be like, ugh, this is boring. I'm tired of eating chicken and rice every day, all day, and that's the only thing I eat. So, you know what you do? Okay, I can have chicken and rice, my beef and rice, oatmeal, and then I can have room for a couple slices of pizza. Don't go full on all bored in and go, okay, I have room for a whole pie, you know? Like, now, if you want to do this, I don't recommend this. You can have a full pie of pizza, but just don't eat anything. That's the part that sucks, you know? Because as long as they fit the macros in, you're perfectly fine, right? So just be smart with your calorie intake. You know, I mean, you'll have insulin spikes. There's all types of things that, you know, I need to learn, including myself and everyone else, you know, because the littlest things like insulin spikes, everything, those really matter, you know. That's why protein bars, like, I love protein bars because they're quick. I mean, I eat the David bars, which is, if I eat 2 at work a day, 56 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, and 24 carbs. That's awesome, macro-wise. But if I eat any more than that, like if I eat 3 or 4 protein bars, that's really gonna, you know, mess with my insulin, right? Because all the protein I'm getting and barely any carbs, you know, all that kind of stuff. No fats, barely. You know, just be smart, right? Eat natural foods, right? The only reason I eat those is because I'm at work. I don't eat them when I don't work, you know? Or if I'm doing DoorDash, for example, I just eat a meal prep before I start it, and I eat it during it or something. So that's what I say. The less artificial stuff you have, the better. More colors, the better. That's one thing I will say. You will see a lot in food. The less color there is, the more artificial there is. Like, if you have a bunch of fruits, vegetables, meat, they all have separate colors, but when you eat something artificial, they kind of all just blend in together, and it's not lifeful, it's lifeless, so, like I said, just be smart with your calories, just own up to what you're doing, right? If you know what you're doing is gonna, make your progress kind of go back, is that dopamine spike that you ate just now really worth it? Probably not. But I will say, have a little bit of it. Enjoy yourself, but don't overindulge. Don't over-enjoy yourself, because too much of anything, even good, can be bad. So, if you have too much bad, that's not going to be good at all, But a little bad is actually kind of good, Like I said, a couple slices of pizza, not good for you, but also not inherently bad, because you're getting the dopamine of the taste and the fulfillment of you just ate that pizza, right? But if you have 8 slices of pizza compared to 2, something might not add up right that you want to. So, furthermore, I have nothing left to say. I'm going to enjoy this day. I'm going to go back and grub down on I don't know what I'm really going to grub down on. Probably some chicken and rice, maybe with some sauce. I'll have to kind of figure it out, though, because I gotta do some dishes and stuff. And some laundry. But overall, I'm going to enjoy my day now. I'm going to get to work. And I catch you all later for the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.